Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices and a few stocks for Thursday the 8th of July. And starting with a Russell here, we're expecting the Russell to pull back. It pulled back a little bit further than I thought, but we are looking for wave 4 here as wave 1 and 2, and then also 1 and 2 here, and now pushing up. So I think it's a good idea to just check on the hourly chart just to get our bearings on this. So we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then we've counted up for 5 waves for 1 here, and then we've got an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And with the C wave here, you can see that we've got quite a nice 5 wave structure here for this. So I'm not sure about the 5th wave. I haven't pulled that apart just yet, but if you see any strength coming into this, like taking out this top there, or we could just draw a line in the sand, so to speak, and once that becomes the support there, then you can go long at that point. So I don't know if it's going to come down a bit further or not. It looks like it should be okay, the length of it compared to the other lengths here. So we should see this come up and hit this, pull back, then push up through it, then come back and test it, then push up. So if you see that sort of behavior, then it doesn't matter what you do, long as you know what you're doing in terms of getting in. Of course, taking out this top here of this first high above the level, because it's really like a classic trading levels pattern: the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some type of correction, and then up from that point. So yeah, that's what that is there. So you can treat it just the same, but yeah, it's nice to have that green line as a tested support rather than buying it on the line when you're going to get kicked back again. So pulling up through here and pulling back down through here, yeah, you can just spread your bets out if you're doing it that way, or otherwise use the levels. So on 2.8 here, which is the top of subgroup 2, and then top of minor group 1 on the 300 here, definitely look to build in on that side. So this market has been lagging the other markets, well, in a big way. But a lot of other markets around the world have as well. The European markets and where are we? And Australian markets where I am, and so on. So, albeit a little bit sluggish, kind of like this in its way. But the S&P 500, which we'll look at next, is moving along nicely. So we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and then will be 3, 4. And 5 just for the 3rd wave here. Then we'll have the 4th wave and the 5th wave to come into play for the end of this trend in one way or another. But let's just see how this plays out here. I mean, it's a case for putting wave 4 over here as well, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Let's just, it's kind of, to me, it's like folks that are really focused on this sort of market, these wave 4s really wear you out, and it's pretty much, it's pretty difficult emotionally to, continue with a sideways pattern like this, especially when you're seeing other markets like the S&P and the Nasdaq move up so strong. You feel like you're getting left behind and frustrated, but I can assure you that this is, if it's going to move, this is really where it's going to move from at this point. So the S&P 500, okay, so on the daily chart, we've got wave 2 here, and we're going up for wave 3 here of intermediate degree. We're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 here. And then we're starting this run here. So we're seeing 10-year yields pull off, which is nice. So it's giving this market a chance to run. So we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here. And this wave 3 here, I think it could be quite big. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, then 4 and then 5. That's what I'm sort of thinking. And let's go in and have a look at that a little bit further. Let's just bring this into here. So Yeah, I've just simplified this. So wave 3, 4 here, and we've had this as wave 1 and 2. I've been counting this in different ways, and yeah, this is looking at the distance we need to travel to make wave 3 longer than wave 1 here. We'll probably be looking at something like this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1 and 2. So we're looking for 5 green waves in this blue wave 3 here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we've got a fair way to go up at this point. So I do think that we're in a nice part of the trend now. So don't feel like you've missed out, because I feel like this is just starting up still. We're not in the center of the trend at this stage. I mean, when you consider from wave 4 here going further up to, well, blue wave, let's just put these in here while we're here. So blue wave 4, they're probably already in here somewhere, and 5 over here, and that can take us, I don't know if we'll reach 5,000 or anything like that, but anything's possible. But yeah, so from 4 to 5 here, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5. So yeah, really nice looking trend, I have to say. When you got the Fed's printed money, they're all on your side, and everything. So this is the time to be in assets for sure. Be it property, shares, anything you can get your hands on, really. Yeah, so let's just go in and take a closer look at this on the hourly chart, just to drill down a bit further. So as, it's not this one. I think I've done it on the 15 minutes, so sorry about that. That was my other trend. We can come back to that and keep working that one as well. Let's just... Yeah, so this is wave 2 low there. So we're just looking at this. We'll look at this a bit more detailed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third here, the fourth here, and then 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 here, ABC for 2. So all of this here is just wave 1 here. And then continuing to move up on this. A little bit hard to read here, but we'll just look at so classic trading levels pattern across the 4-4 here, okay? And then on the tick chart, not that it will make much difference, it'll be all the same, but just probably a bit more detail. Yeah, so I can move that across over here for 4-4. Probably across a bit further. And we can have 3 and 4 up there, and 5. And we need a bit more data here. So I'll have to go back over the Nasdaq as well and lengthen that out as well. So we've got 1, 2, so we'll take 3, 4 and 5 for this. That'll be sitting up there. Yeah, okay, just looking at other things, but that's okay, sorry about that. Yeah, well, that will probably stretch up a little bit further, looking at that. all of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, fifth, ABC. 1, 2 was probably in there already, but I'll start to bring these in here. I won't do that now. Burnt up enough of your precious time, and but I will get these ready. So we're looking for wave 3 here, and 4 and 5 here. And then we'll see some sort of ABC pattern pull back here, as I mentioned. Yeah, so look just up through the levels. So from 4.3 to 4.4 here, we've got nice support on top of group 1, which is the 30. We're sitting on the midpoint, the 50 now. So this is the 50 here. Then we've got group 2. So there'll be a bit of struggle in this area. And then, yeah, further up. So all looking quite good. So just to recap this a little bit here, just to give you the scope of things here, which is quite interesting, I think, when we look at it. So this is the pathway that we're following at the moment. So yeah, there's plenty to go in here for, for the longer term traders getting in here. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Alrighty, let's have a look at the Nasdaq, which will be, this has been my account for this, but I'm going to have to readjust this to take it up further. We won't be going to this wave 3 just yet. We'll still be heading higher here, but I'll leave it here for the now. I think the important point here, though, is that 15,000 we can agree on is a large number, and it's highly likely we're going to see resistance there. And the idea is that we want to see the market migrate from being resistance to support, and that normally takes the shape of some type of correction. This is the most common, with the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC correction, and then finding support. So exiting here and getting back in over here or on the dips here, depending on how you trade, is really what we're sort of looking at. But in the bigger picture for the longer term traders, I wouldn't worry too much about the market spending too much time here in this space. So really you just want to continue to hold long here. And even if let's just assume for a moment that this count is right here for a moment, the size of wave 2 was simple, so wave 4 would be complex, but to only be 60% bigger than this here. So not a lot of time to be spent here at that point anyway. But, 15,000 will be, 5 being the second strongest number, will be on people's minds. So yeah. Alrighty, let's have a look at our stocks, our normal 6 stocks. Half of them are positive and half of them are negative at the moment from last night's session. Let's make a start. So starting with Apple. We're looking at the market moving up to 150, where we can expect to start to see some corrections at that point. The 144 here, this old high here, in terms of price, of course, the 144 is important. Well, it's basically where Gann and Fibonacci meet up, isn't it? So with the Fibonacci sequence of numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and 144. And of course, Gann's squares of 12, 12s. 144. So I'm sure that in terms of geometry, I'm sure there's something pretty important about that. But in terms of psychology, the 155 being the second strongest number, we're definitely going to see some sort of dance across here. We can see the trend is still strong. We'd expect indicators just to, like the stochastics, just to start to flatline, because normally when you go past an old high here, that's what the indicators do. So you need to go up to the next time frame for that. But I just use the indicators, the stochastics, to see how fast the market's moving more so. Because if this trend was you know, I can see that because it's flatlining here, I need to lift it up, but I also know too that, you know, it'll start to pull back when we get this sort of wave 4 here. But if this price was moving up here and the stochastics was still down here somewhere, then I'd know there was still plenty of room to move in that regard. So yeah, it's just really the speed of the stochastics that I sort of like. But we can expect a classic trading levels pattern at the 150 here for this. Let's just check on the tick chart here, bring in some, well, some data, maybe 5 will be enough. So from the low over here, we've got green wave 1 and 2, and then we're just looking up for, well, from green wave 2, these things move when I close the program. So this wave 3 is what we're looking for here. So this is the likelihood of what we'll be sort of looking at here for this. So from green wave 2 to green wave 3 here, we'll be looking for 1 and 2 in here for that. And then we're looking up for 3, 4, and 5 for the third wave, and then the fourth wave will be over here, and of course the fifth wave, and so on. So we're going to go higher. It's just that, you know, if you're going to take some profit, then this number is where we would want to take that, and also to maybe able to move back into the market if that's, you know, if you've got a trading account, you know, like taking money off the table at 150 and buying it back at 144 again, because it'll probably come back somewhere in that sort of space. But anyway, that's sort of where we are at the moment for this. So I'm just going to move these because they're going to move anyway. I can leave that there. That's all cool. So yeah, a bit of a thing at the 145 here, and a bit of a dance for the 145. Let me just check on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here. So that would be all part of 3, 4. That's to that point there already. So, but that's not much of a pullback there. So where have I gone wrong here? Not to worry, I'll sort it out. And I'll sort that out. But anyway, the momentum is still to the upside for Apple. And we have this long trade here for that around this price point. So yeah, taking some skin out of the game at the 150 is a good idea. Also for Amazon as well, another positive move here for Amazon, and yeah, we had that nice spike up there because Bill Gates lost that contract for servers to the US government. So gives Amazon a chance to get in on that action. Apart from that, the story fitting the wave count, because we were looking at this being, well, wave 1 here and 2 here, 1 here and 2 here, and 1 here and 2 here. So we're going into the very fast part of the trend here. So we're expecting a wave 3, and we got that. The news came along and fitted that nicely for that. You know, you know, once you know Elliott really well, it kind of makes you think about destiny being preordained, being accurate, being set, even being accurate and being set would probably be the right words for it. Yeah, anyway, puzzling questions. We love the markets. They fascinate us in many, many different ways. So what we're approaching now with this is we're approaching, well, from 3,000 to 4,000, we've got 10, 20, and 30, and which is group 1, and then the midpoint, and then we've got number 8 here. But with 8, we can also bring in the rest of group 2 as well here. So we might be able to pick that up on the tick chart, but that's where the market is slowing down to at this particular point. But this third wave is not as long as wave 1 here just yet, so we'll be heading somewhere up into that space. Let's just check. So wave 1, ABC for 2 here, looking at all of this is wave 1 and 2. Normally I have that as 3 and 4, but yeah, no, we've done all the right things at the right time. We've even gotten into all the strong part of the trend in the right time as well, which is nice. And of course all our little labeling moves here on this, which is a bit annoying. So we'll need that one, we won't need that one. I don't see any problems whatsoever moving up to the 4,000 here, so just really hold long. We put our stop to cover our costs at this point. Probably a triangle there, but I'll just pop that there for the time being, and we'll pop that over there and here. This can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then wave 5 sitting over here with wave 3 and so on. So that type of behavior. But we're in group 2 now, as you can see. So 65, 72 and 80 here, well 36.50 in that regard. But yeah, all looking quite good. I'll have to double check on that. I mean, it looks obvious to put this one just here, doesn't it? But we'll just double check that later in my own time. So that's Amazon. The other positive one, before we look at all the negatives, is Alphabet. So, yeah, just in the bigger picture, we've got 3 and 4 here, and we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave. So a fair way to go. Yeah, so let's just go quickly to, that shouldn't have occurred. Let's go to the tick chart just to see if we can get a better understanding of this here, but this is how it looks. So we need that one next. I'll leave these out the way, we don't need those just yet. They're okay up there. So we're looking for something that looks like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I don't know if that wave 3 is finished, but we should be looking at some sort of wave 4 at some point, and then wave 5 here. So, you know, if you're in this market, then just hang in there, just hold there. We've still got, you know, we've still got further to go in all of this, so that will push up much higher. It'll be interesting to see how we stick around here. I don't think that we will stick around here that very much because of where we are in the structure. If we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as 1 and 2 here, I need to reconcile that as well. But 1, 2, 3 are probably part of that. Yeah, I mean, I think we will be here a little bit, but not as much as we normally would here, you know, in a classic trading levels pattern. We're just going to kind of burn through this and continue to the upside. Okay, so let's have a look at Square. That was down 1% or so. Let's just clean this up here. Oh, it opened high. It's trying to get through the 250, as you can see, you know, from the major level 200. So 100, 200, 300 are all major levels. After 300, got 500, 800. And then we go from 800. Normally you go to 13, which we can use as a major level, but we go to 10 to 1,000, the power of 10, and go 1,000, 2,000 and so on, that kind of thing. But we're at a medium level here, and yeah, rightfully so, it's been a bit of a struggle to get through. We don't have it as support yet, but that's what we've just been talking about, having a position on this side and then later on getting a position on support here, and then markets move quite quickly between the numbers 5 and 8 in both directions, and also from 3 and 5 they move quite quickly as well. So just good to know that. And yeah, we don't have support on that medium level here just yet for this. Let's have a look at Facebook. So kind of like where the S&P 500 is in a way, you know, but a little bit more advanced, sort of leading that in a sense. So as I mentioned yesterday, you'll find most stocks and markets are in this wave, blue wave 3 here in one way or another. Some may be leading, some following, all of those sorts of things. Like the Russell has just finished wave 2, for instance, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, the trading levels from 300 to 400, major level, medium level, and then minor levels in here. Minor level 1, 2, and 3 to make up group 1. If we get support on group 1, which we eventually did, that will take us to the next level, the 5, the midpoint. And 5 being the second strongest number, we're likely to see some sort of, you know, little dance across that, one of our patterns, and then further upside. So that's really what we're seeing at the moment. Yes, there could be more. You know, trends are easy, corrections are tricky because they can just double in size and do other weird things. There's 11 or 12 different types of corrections. So, yeah, you've got to be a little bit mindful of them. But corrections, you've got to learn to love them because, well, they're the ones that take the money off you. They're the ones that stop you out, so you really got to get to know them at that point. And secondly, but more importantly, is corrections of where the next trend is engineered from. So they're the accumulation process before going into the distribution process, and that's what we're seeing here. So let's just go to the tick chart and work out our little squiggles. So yeah, without getting to too much bigger detail here, we're looking for a move up. Here, we're going to bring this, we don't want to get stopped out, so I'm just going to bring the stop down out of the way here, but I think that we're pretty much good to go because we've got an ABC correction here coming down here. I suppose you could wingle 5 waves out of it, maybe, yeah, maybe not. And then we've got 5 waves in this move here. So it doesn't really give me a nice wave 1 over here for this, but I would expect that we would move up from this point. And even though it's not a very nice wave 1, in fact, it's pretty disgusting. So I think that I might have to put this over here for this as an A and a B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and coming down for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'll be another little squiggle to the downside here before going to the upside. So we'll leave that as wave 2, but I may have to adjust that. But, you know, I'm not really fussed about all of this. If you're not in this, then just put the line through there and that should do the trick. That should keep you safe. And you really want that line as support. So as I've mentioned before, when you've got a trend line here, you need, it's just the same as the trading level, you need it checking as support and moving off in that way. That's the safe way to do it, but depending on how you want to move in and so on. But yeah, this move here across here is corrective. It's not the end of the trend, so we'll be pushing to the upside for that. And Tesla. So with Tesla, I've got a bearish count and a bullish count. Well, I've got 2 bearish counts actually and a bullish count. I know that's not very sort of helpful, but I think it's good to talk about them. So a couple of things here is, first of all, the trend line that comes through here is really, you know, preventing this market from moving higher. Secondly, we've got the 61.8% retracement level from that previous high to that low here. So that's really just, you know, holding that there. Thirdly, we are at the medium level here, 650, halfway between 2 major levels. And we really haven't tested it as support, and it just burns straight through it. So a little bit like the overshoot pattern. So the overshoot pattern is kind of one of the, it's not rare, but it's the lesser of the other 2, where it doesn't stop here, and the distance it goes above is normally the distance that goes down, as below the levels, the rule of thumb. So I think that's what we've got here for this. Yeah, just a little bit of caution. We'll look at both sides. This is one bearish count where we just go up to, roughly up to the 800 area and then come down here into wave 4 here. The more bullish count for this, which I think I've got on the 4-hour chart, is this one here, which is quite good. I like this one too. So as wave A here, a B wave here, and then 5 waves down here. Now we haven't made a low here, but that's okay. I've seen that before with stocks that are quite strong. We can see how far the stochastics has moved down here compared to from that previous low here, right, which will be in here somewhere. It's still way up here, so it's pulled back like a trigger. So I would assume that will be popping up here very shortly with that, the way that that's set up. So that would be the more bullish count where we're sort of looking not to stop at the 800, but just to, continue to the upside here on that. This is a little bit significant here, this top on the bearish side of things. It's a little bit, you could probably look at this as an A wave here, a B wave here, and then 1 and 2 in here, and maybe all of that is the 3rd wave or 4th wave, and take that spike as a 5th wave being a top there. So it could be a top there. But let's just wait and see a little bit. I mean, as a top there, where is it? I think it was just here. I was tracking that. So it'd be like this here, which is probably, I know that everyone's got opinions and so on, but this would be the bearish count where we take these 5 waves here as wave A, and then the B wave, then 5 waves, and then an ABC at the 61.8%, and taking that little spiky high there as a top. A bit thin on the ground looking at that as an A and a B and a C being completed, I have to say. So we won't put too much weight on this. We're just talking about it. But if that was the case, then we'd see 3, 4, and 5 play out to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here for that. But I don't think that's the case. Let's just cruise back to, let's just go to our tick chart, I think, and look at the detail here. So let's just get in a little bit more data. So from the low here, be it wave 4 or be it part of the correction, doesn't matter at this point, but we're working this to the upside. So we can look at that as well as wave 1 and 2 here. This is the real bullish count, and then wave 1 and 2 here. That everything gets accounted for in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all good. So we've been working with this here, and it's a little bit of an issue the way that it's come down so much, because I was looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 in here. And then the 3rd wave, 4th wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I could count that different. It is extending up there. I mean, what I'm trying to think about here is that this wave 1 and 2 here is quite small, right? But then this would be the 3 and the 4 here. So that's really a little bit big for that. So that's not really going to work. There's definitely something wrong with that. So I'll have to check this. So what we'll need to do is put that over there. We'll need to put that there. And we'll just put this, that will need to go there, and that will need to go there, and then we'll need to look at this slightly differently here. Just bear with me for a second. We'll need to look at it as this degree of wave 4, but I don't particularly like that because, that's also really big compared to this wave 2 here. So it's not much of an improvement really. What we were doing yesterday, we were looking at this structure moving down through here, and it kind of all depended on where, I mean, here we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So we can look at this as the first impulse wave here, and then I'm just going to clear these up here. So we've just got no, so then, yeah, well, let's just label this then, shall we? It's the last chart, so it doesn't really matter if you don't want to be here, that's okay. So, you know, this would make a nice sort of ABC pattern, but this spike here making that top there, that kind of forces me to put wave 2 there, but I feel that that's not quite right in a way, because I feel that the wave 2 should move on over to this point here at least, or even to this one here, as an ABC to this point, and using this as wave 1 here and 2 here, not taking the top out here, and then 3, 4, 5 for the third wave here. So I feel like the third wave's here, but we'll just, and then the fourth wave here is nice and obvious, and then we've got the fifth wave down here. I haven't pulled that apart, but that would need to be the fifth wave there anyway. It's not looking that good here as an impulse wave, but what I can say is that there may be another little move down through here. It just depends on how we have to count that, you know. We also got a spike on this one here too. That was interesting. Same sort of thing, but corrective. I mean, that could be 1 and 2 and 3. But what I'm thinking is that even if there is another move down, it doesn't really matter, because what we're looking for in a trade setup here is on the 650. So we're just looking for a simple classic trading levels pattern. I'm probably making it quite big here, or too big. And we'll just take that second high. If you can't get that, then just look for the first high, and then that will be the long trade at that point. And that will keep you safe from any more bearish moves at this point here as well. Just checking. I have to treat all of that there as that. Well, we wouldn't want to see it move down past the 630, that's for sure. It can bounce off the 630, and that will be below the 61.8% mark. So I'll just leave that there for the time being. We don't really even want to see the 650 become the retested resistance either. So it's checked it here. We could probably get 5 waves out of this. It looks like it wants to go up, but let's just see first. Nothing to do today anyway. So as I mentioned yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, we were going to go through Wednesday and Thursday. So Friday is where we're looking, late Thursday afternoon, possibly, after lunch on Thursday, and Friday morning. So if you see it being positive in that space, and you can work out support on that 650, then that's the place to go long at. Okay, so just look for support there, and that will come in late Thursday or Friday. That's in line with the bullish weekly cycle. Okay, but at the meantime, we'll just call that low in here for the time being. That looks okay. Like I say, it just depends on how you sort of work this top here. So I think that I will just take some liberty and look at it like that, and that will give us 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave pulling back to the fourth wave here. So yeah, that feels okay. Is that 5 waves in here? I'd have to sort of, yeah, probably. I need to check that further, but it's something you could do. So I think the low's in. Let's look for support on the 650, and then we can build in long trades and keep the stop under the level as well, but you need the retest. Once that's triggered, then you can put the stop in under the low here. So if that occurs like that, get the drawing tool working. Yeah, oh, there it goes. If that gets triggered here, then the stop can just naturally go here for that. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.